Okay, so this problem arose in class today. And the question is, in exercises 17 through 22, simplify the expression tangent of x plus pi over 2. So in looking at this, we're looking at this rule right here in class. So we said this, well, that's going to be the tangent of a, which is x, plus the tangent of b, which is pi over 2, all divided by 1 minus the tangent of a times the tangent of b, which is pi over 2. And then when you look at our unit circle over here, where this is 0, 2 pi, 0, 2 pi, let me fix that. This is pi over 2. This is pi, and this is 3 pi over 2. So we're right here at pi over 2, and that point there is over 0 up 1. So this is our cosine, sine of our position pi over 2. So the cosine of pi over 2 is 0, and the sine of pi over 2 is 1. Okay, so when we were doing that, well, then we would say, well, the tangent equals sine over cosine. So therefore, it's 1 over 0, and that is undefined. And that's what we came up with in class. So we're like, okay, well, tan x plus an undefined value over 1 minus tan x times an undefined value. We can't do that. Well, what we weren't focusing on is what tangent equals, and it's sine over cosine. So I'm going to not do what we did in class today because it can't be done because of the undefined rule. And how about we do this? Well, the tangent of x is the sine of x plus pi over 2 divided by the cosine of the angle, which is x plus pi over 2. So we're going to work with this. So I'm going to move this now down to here. That equals that. And we're going to work with the sine and cosine sum rule. So let me get rid of this. So we're dealing with the sine of a plus b. Here's a, here's b. So we're going to do sine of a, which is sine of x, which is here, times cosine of b, times cosine of b, which is pi over 2. And it's going to be plus cosine of the first term, so cosine of x, times sine of the second term, which is sine of pi over 2. And I'm going to divide this whole thing by the cosine sum rule, which says cosine of the first term, so it's now cosine x times cosine of the second term times cosine of pi over 2 minus the sine, so I'm right here now, sine of the first term, which is x, times sine of the second term, which is sine of pi divided by 2. Okay, so now let's simplify that. Sine of x stays sine of x, because we don't know what x is. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0, so that's times 0, minus sine of x, which we don't know. And the sine of pi over 2 is 1, so that's times 1. All divided by the cosine of x times the cosine of pi over 2, which is 0, minus the sine of x. Okay. I made a mistake here. I try not to, but it's tough. Sine of x times cosine of pi over 2 is 0. This is not supposed to be sine. This is my numerator. Cosine x times sine of pi over 2, which is 1. Okay? So sine of x times 0 minus cosine x times 1 over cosine x times 0, which is the cosine of pi over 2, minus the sine of x times the sine of pi over 2, which is 1. So in simplifying this, sine x times 0 cancels, cosine x times 0 cancels, and we're left with a negative cosine x times 1, which is just negative cosine x, over a negative sine x. Okay, so I'm just looking at my signs here, and this plus sign should be a plus right there. That's why I was concerned with my result here. So what we're ending up with is a positive cosine over a negative sine, which equals a negative, and cosine over sine is cotangent of x. So negative cotangent of x. The reason I was pausing there was because I had a positive cotangent where I wanted a negative. So it's positive divided by a negative is negative. So here is the simplification of tangent of x plus pi over 2. You have to do the sine of x plus pi over 2 divided by the cosine of x plus pi over 2. Using our sum formulas for sine and cosine simplifies down to negative cotangent x.